Thanks for having us.
No problem.
We're very in sync, if you haven't noticed.
Yeah. I just noticed. So tell me about the group that you two started.
So it's a group called Like-Minded Bitches Drinking Wine. How many people are actually members here? It's probably a good place to start. Go bitches!
Oh, great. And we'll convert everyone else.
Ooh, yes!
So just to give you guys a taste of what the events are like.
So when we're on the job, we're really on the job, aren't we?
Yeah. This is when all the good ideas come up.
Thank you. So
we thought it would be fitting to have some wine during our chat. I hope you all don't mind.
Great non.
Cheers, by the way.
Cheers, guys.
So we've got 23,000 women across the world. Thank you so much.
Be on standby.
So we've got 23,000 women across Australia, and it's a group where we basically catch up, share war stories, have interesting speakers come in and talk about, starting startups or running your businesses. We have everything from, I guess, your 18-year-old just finished high school looking for, inspiration of how to run a business or where to even start, all the way up to we've even got Naomi Simpson from Red Balloon and Ready.com, who's actually a part of it as well. So a wide variety of people.
That's fantastic. And how many cities are you in now? How many countries?
So we're in 15 countries. We're in 25 cities now. So everything from Tel Aviv, Cambodia, Shanghai, New York, San Fran, London, all the usual culprits. And in every major city and some regional centres across Australia.
Wow. And tell me about why you started this group.
Well, I love hanging out with Jane, so no.
So I think it was August last year. We wanted to get together a group of other female founders to have people to kind of celebrate the wins with, and mainly to bitch and moan about work, because you can't do that to your colleagues, with your colleagues. So 20 of us got together and we had dinner.
Yep.
And we had a great time, and we thought, hey, there's probably other girls out there who also want to. Sorry, I've lost my voice. Who also want to join us. So let's put it to the public. And we did. So we started making this public Facebook group with public events. And it just really showed that there was a demand and need from the market, because since then we've grown to, like you said, 23,000 members in just over a year.
That's amazing. So tell me about some of the values, the goals that you're trying to achieve.
Yeah, of course. So we've got a couple of values, which is no bullshit. So within the group, you get some very raw stories or real stories about what's actually going on in people's startups. You get people putting their hands up for help and actually being honest about it, which is, tough times, but it also means that everyone can learn from this experience. So Test, Fail, Learn is another one. We'll try lots of different things with the direction of the group, and also with the events to kind of see what works, what doesn't. And we will always remain bitches at heart, I guess. We get a lot of pushback on the name, as I'm sure some people have probably heard, but we will continue to stay strong with that. Where we're heading in the future, we've actually just finishing off a website where we're actually transferring everyone over from the page, basically scraping every post, comment, and so when you log in, you've actually got your user profile ready to go with all your interactions over the last 12 months with everyone already there, and you can already connect with other people going, okay, I need somebody at PayPal, does anyone know anyone or whatever. And we're going to roll out to, 50 cities over the next 12 months. By the end of the year, that's our goal. So Jane and I are going to be moving around a lot, trying to catch up with everyone's drinking habits around the world.
So how did you make the decision to move from Facebook to your own site, and what went into that?
Our own personal Facebook's being bombarded.
If you try to look for a post, it's very hard. So it's just there's just a demand and need for it. So
we've got 300 women a day joining now.
Wow.
Globally, and so you can imagine the amount of post content and post interactions is phenomenal. I think
what's really amazing is if you have a question, and I always use the group for this reason, you post a question and within 5 minutes you'll have 50 women who have replied, giving their opinion and speaking, not just like, yeah, no, I reckon like
you.
Like actually will write a paragraph speaking from experience.
Yeah.
And it's just so valuable. It saves you so much time. It's like, for me, it's like, people say just Google it. I say just ask the LMBs. Ask the bitches.
But what's fantastic as well is the global community that's really come about of this. So when I was in New York the other month, and I literally just went, hey, bitches, I'm headed to New York. Anybody here? Straight away you get bombarded. You get hooked up with meetings that you never would have been able to get into. You even turn up to meetings and like, oh, I'm a bitch too. How do we make this happen? You're like, yes. Yeah.
So when you're expanding to other cities, how do you choose, do you partner with people? How do you choose who should be the bitch in that city?
On Wednesdays we wear pink, obviously. No, so basically we have this community that's continually growing, and it attracts very like-minded people, and we get people approaching all the time, and we have a bit of an interview process. We make sure that they understand where we're heading, they're in line, they're not crazy or as crazy as us, either or. And then basically we have an onboarding process. So we have a team here in Sydney who roll that out. We help them establish their first event, make sure we get enough attendees, and then we roll from there. But one of the values, sorry, I forgot to mention before, is we don't charge for events. So we make sure that no matter whether you're day one of a startup or 5-10 years in, it's accessible for everyone. And
Except for our Christmas party, but that's
Yes.
only to cover costs.
but that's for
We
alcohol,
don't
that's
make-
different.
It's for the venue. Yes.
Fair enough.
So so we've been able to manage it that way.
And so how much support do you provide that person that you end up choosing? And also, what kind of qualities do you look for in that person?
Besides an alcoholic, we basically look for people that believe in the vision of where we're taking this. It's supposed to be inclusive. We don't want people who are there for their own brands. We don't want people who are going to try and sell the thing or Snapchat it. We want that. Cheers. And then basically we make sure that the support they have, we have a team here in Sydney that is constantly checking in. We make sure that every ambassador globally actually connects in once a month so that we can go, right, this is what's happening, this has worked, this hasn't, can we connect anyone with anyone? So it's kind of a bit of a cult or sisterhood, however you want to look at it.
Cult sisterhood. Very similar. You talked a little bit about challenges around finding a post. What are some other challenges you run into with your community in general?
Oh, honestly, I think there's, I think a lot of the time, so one of the things that is really just kind of annoying, I'm being completely honest, a lot of times because there are girls posting, I mean, you get a lot of times people are network marketers and they go for the hard sell because we don't really want girls to solicit business. It's about pushing your brand, and we're always down for a hustle, but we don't want people to feel like they're being solicited and they're being pushed into buying something. So we do have a lot of people, sometimes, sorry, not a lot, I'm talking it down. Sometimes there's people, network marketers, and a lot of other girls feel there's spam coming from that, or there's like people who may have been in business and one person may have screwed the other person up, and they come to us, and it's just like, and I'll get this long paragraph after like a long day of work. I'm like, I'm not here to be the judge and jury
Moderator.
or to mother this like process. And I always think when you have a business, you can't grow yourself and excel by trying to stop your competitors. Trying to like put in controls. You just have to keep pushing yourself and making yourself better, using that, like not focusing on what other people are doing. And I always try and give that feedback to girls who do complain.
That's a really good point, because where do you draw that line, right?
Yeah.
Just because somebody had something wrong go over there doesn't
Because I have
mean...
to then speak to them, and I'm not here to moderate.
Yeah.
And also, I just think as a good business person, you shouldn't need to go and get someone to step in and be the school principal and tell one person off. Like, you need to just work. Like, you need to work on putting control so that shit doesn't happen again, and you learn from this mistake and you move on. Like, if you're going to be a strong businesswoman, just get over it. So, I mean, I know it's harsh, but it's true. Anyway, and the other thing for us personally, just because Jen and I both have our busy businesses that are growing, so it's just where do we, like, how to find time to give this more. There's so much potential in this group, but, there's also so much potential in our business. So it's like, what do we do?
How do you keep focus?
So we every month we'll catch up and we're like, okay,
What are we doing with this thing?
What's the future plan? And we're still like a bit shaky, but we'll get
it right.
Yeah, we keep changing our minds, but I think we have a general idea now.
Well, tell me about that general idea. Where is it heading?
Yeah, of course. So obviously, we've got 25 cities this year. So next year, as a startup, we go, great, double it, and how do we get there? So 50 cities is the aim, and we want to travel more and actually be present at more of the international events and other cities. So, for example, December, we're going to be in Newcastle, whereas typically we won't go to every single event in Perth or whatever, because you just physically can't be there.
Yeah.
So trying to balance that's going to be the first challenge. And then after that, once we get the site done, we'll start adding in more features and actually being able to allow the members to actually access more stuff that we normally wouldn't do. So we don't want to replace things in the community. We want to be able to plug in lots of different things. So whether it's access to investment or whatever, we don't know what that is. We're going to continually look at who's doing what in the market and try and make sure that we work with everybody.
Fantastic. So you've had some pretty incredible growth. I mean, it's been, what, a year?
Yep.
Yeah.
Tell me about, has that growth been organic? Have you done anything to foster the community?
Totally organic. So
Completely
I think
organic.
what's happened is, so the first event where we actually had outsiders come, there was 30 women. And that's where the name came from. We were literally sitting around going, oh, we're drinking wine, yay, what do we call this thing? We'll just throw a Facebook group so we can all connect and share things. Oh, we're like-minded bitches, sweet, we're drinking wine, creative. But from there, that same essence is really related with everybody else. You go to events and there's, a whole bunch of the room putting their hands up going, I'm part of the cult, yay.
Yeah. And I think the name, it's a really strong name. Once in a while, someone thinks they're being smart and new, and this is the first time we've heard that there's people who don't like the word bitch, and they'll go on a rant. But
It's a free group, ungroup.
Yeah, bye. It's self-selecting. We don't, But I think that's what's really made it have so much buzz and to capture so much attention. I think it's what's really worked for us.
And there's not a lot of things for our demographic out there, right?
Yeah.
There's more structured groups or more tailored to corporates who are interested in the startup space or very expensive. There's so many different facets to it. And I guess for us, this is what it is. You want to come join our Girl Gang, come join and, let's see how we go.
What do you think you need to do to keep fostering that community and the engagement?
Keeping the culture is key, and I think that's why with the ambassadors being able to roll that out has allowed us to grow really quickly, but keeping the culture with them has had to have a very stringent interview process. It's almost like an employment interview when we're not actually employing them though. So as we continue to grow, I think that's going to be the biggest struggle. So we will have to look to put on full-time teams to actually cater for each region to really maintain that.
Fantastic, and this is something you're going to continue doing in addition to everything else you're doing personally as well.
Yeah.
That's amazing. You guys, honestly, both of you are amazing. Tell me about some of the women in your group. I'm sure they're doing amazing things.
There's so many amazing women. So besides, this one, fangirl. So we've got everything from Lauren Silvers, who does Glamazon. It's an app that you can book beauty appointments, on demand where you're going. We've got Taryn Williams from The Right Fit, which is booking models and talent on demand. So we've got everything from that to your other end of the spectrum to doctors. So Sarah does, it's on demand again, damn, medical on demand. Everything's on demand these days. Naomi Simpson's part of it, the Red Balloon.
Elise Daniels.
Elise Daniels, she does clothing, the jackets.
Yeah.
And also Emma Blomfield does interior design stuff. So there's a real varied amount of women.
Are there any common themes that you're seeing across what they're doing, anything they're doing right?
Besides the on-demand.
Yeah, we kind of established on demand. Got it.
I think what's great is that people are trying lots of different things out.
Mm-hmm.
And what's interesting is when we see in the group that they'll actually post things out and say, hey, I'm just trying this out, what do you think? Or people will literally post 2 different logos and go, which one do you prefer?
I have seen that, yes.
Instant gratification, right? You know which way to go. Or we even see people going, hey, I'm trying to hit this sales target. I need another 50 sales. Can everyone please help? So really fostering the network has been really interesting. I think from the startups who are growing faster than others in the group is really personal brand, getting out there, waving their flag and running a tight business model and really keeping an eye on those unit economics. It's interesting the maturity of the group and how that is coming through over the year. And I guess we'll continue to see a diverse range of approaches.
Yeah, that's awesome. On the flip side of that, other than the hard sales pitch,
Somebody want more wine?
is there anything else you discourage or you don't encourage people doing?
Thank you. In the group or just in business in general?
In the group, maybe in business in general.
Thank you. That's a tough one.
What was the question? I was distracted by
Besides
the wine, sorry. Thank you.
I'm just wondering if there are others, other than the hard sales pitch, is there anything else that you don't encourage people doing if they're trying to take advantage of the benefits of being part of a community?
Be inclusive and don't do the obvious things that are wrong. Don't go literally scrape every person's name, approach them directly and bombard them with emails. Surprisingly, people don't take that well. So I think it's just things like that. I think it's just common respect for everyone else and don't the group's only successful because of the members that we have. People are giving up their time and contributing. Don't expect to, walk in and take, and don't contribute anything back because you won't get the support. And it's noticeable when people just post and ask for things but don't offer help for anyone else. So I think that's probably the common theme through the group, would you say?
Yeah, and maybe we can have some kind of like a game point system for our website.
Yeah, we're going to get there.
Eventually.
You're going to get a point system.
five
How are people
rating.
going to get points?
Gamify it.
Yeah.
Okay, so as you grow and you implement some of these things, what else are you planning on offering other than a point system?
on demand anything at this point. No. I mean, we've got lots of wine brands who are actually talking to us as well. So, this is a side thing, right? This is not our main job. So I think we'll continue to look at every opportunity, whether it's doing our own wine, who knows, that could be fun. We'll have to taste all of it. And then probably look at different grants or scholarship programs that we can do to assist the marketplace. It's as much as we can give back from what we're getting back from the group ourselves. So whether it's, we've been talking to coding schools as well, like Code Camps, doing a week away, doing that. I think there's the Code Institute that's actually part of Like-Minded Bitches and does weeks away in Bali. So can we make enough revenue to actually then contribute to putting girls through that, or business grants, or who knows where this thing's going to go. It changes every bloody day.
That's awesome. So what about some of the younger generations? Like, are you looking at helping younger girls get into the entrepreneurship program or entrepreneurship in general?
Oh, massively. So Jane and I speak at a lot of different events and engage with a lot of different programs. So, for example, the Macleay College, I'm actually on their entrepreneurship board for their actual course. So one of the cool things that they do is actually, when girls are finishing school, literally give real live investors monopoly money, and you can't buy Mayfair, I checked. And you basically, these girls come up with these ideas and then try and get them started over the term. And by the end, they literally have to pitch to these investors for physical monopoly money. So it's a great learning experience that you don't typically get to do through school. So what can we do to assist with creating a larger funnel for the younger girls? It might not be bitches drinking wine, but 16 to 17, maybe there's other programs that we can do as spin-offs to really open that funnel up.
Yeah, absolutely. What do you think is necessary to foster that in young girls?
I think access and visibility has been something that we've seen predominantly, because when we both started, there was nothing else out there for our age group. So being able to see other girls who are doing the same thing, relate to them, bounce ideas or learn different things or through their experiences has been really important. So we're trying to really create that for as many different women in different industries or different locations around the world. The more international stuff that we can get coming into the group, the better, because it means that we get more Aussies striving to be able to access that as quickly as possible.
And what do you think it takes in general for women entrepreneurs? Do they need something like this to grow and be successful in entrepreneurship? Or is it we just need to, be more open to new ideas from women?
I don't think we need it. You don't need it to be successful in business, because we both didn't have it when we started. But I definitely do think it's helpful. And I think it's good to, there's the whole emotional side of starting a business. Where it's good to have people to speak to that can relate to what you're going through. And I found it very hard, because I used to work in corporate finance. So when I quit my job, all of my friends were in finance, and I think this is before entrepreneurship became cool. So everyone just thought I was an idiot, and they told me I was being stupid. So I didn't, have people who have been through this to really talk to. And I think it would have definitely have helped. But also for me, having that spite to prove them wrong and not having that community also probably pushed me harder. So who knows? But I definitely think it's very helpful.
We had that woman in Melbourne, remember? We had one of the monthly events, and I just happened to be there for it. And walked in, they've started, great. This woman came running at me crying. And my first reaction was, what have I done? I'm so sorry. And she was like, I just wanted to thank you so much. And I was like, why? She's like, I was so scared about taking that first step for running a business. Everyone had been talking about it over the last year or two and how entrepreneurship's cool and blah, blah, blah. But they never talk about how hard it is or how scary it can be. So joined the group, was watching what everybody else was doing. And then next minute, I thought, you know what? I'm just going to give it a crack. I did my first photo shoot for our products to put them on our website. I took a photo of that and put it on the group. Within 5 minutes, she had 600 likes, like a ridiculous amount of comments saying, well done, can we help in any way? Here's a partnership opportunity, this, that, and the other. And she said if it wasn't for that, she then wouldn't have, gotten the excitement and the confidence to actually keep going. So that's just one story.
That's amazing.
Everyone takes such different things from this group, and they approach it so differently, and everyone's journey for a startup is so different. So I think because it is so wide and varied and so many different people, it can, work for so many different things.
Are there other stories like that you could share with us? I love big wins.
What else have we had?
There's quite a few people who have done collaborations and like joint ventures.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, I don't know.
Investing in the same different startups. So we do have some, people who have got larger startups who have made quite a bit of money and now able to go into that next round. So we're doing seed investments into startups. So we're seeing a lot of that coming through as well. Then
We've hired 2 staff members from
Yep.
the
From the group.
because I'm like, there's a database of people. So that's been good.
That's awesome. So I heard that there is a like-minded dudes drinking beer group.
Are any guys a part of that? That's probably a good question. Yes.
What are your thoughts on that?
So thankfully enough, it's my boyfriend who started that, so it's okay. So Henry's the city manager, or he's the experience manager at Fishburners here in Sydney, and they have a lot of guys doing startups, and all the girls run off to like-minded bitches, and they're like, well, what do we do? There was a lot of concern about if they did start a group like this, they would get shoeboxed to the doing the wrong thing, like the Brisbane co-working space. Did anyone see did everyone think it was a bad thing or a good thing on the Brisbane co-working space dudes only thing? The thumbs down, thumbs down. Are we all thumbs down? Thumbs up, thumbs down? Yeah.
Thumbs up.
I didn't see one. I was just saying. So they have been able to really keep a nice tone. We've got a great relationship between the groups. It's very inclusive between them. If we get guys try and join us, we send them very politely to the like-minded dudes group and vice versa. But it's the same values. It's just about getting together, keeping it light, supporting each other in any way they can. I'm pretty sure the guys aren't as organised as we are, and maybe have only caught up for a couple of events.
Maybe you got to send some ladies over there.
So it's it's not one size fits all. It's just what works.
So is it more maybe just about having that space that you can really talk and share and grow together?
Yeah, definitely, and find opportunities, because it's learning through experience. It's not people telling you what to do. It's saying, hey, this is what works for me. Might not work for you, and you'll be surprised at how many ideas or new opportunities come out of it.
So what's next? Maybe, you said that you're looking to grow these cities, but what about 10 years from now?
We're going to be old in wheelchairs
I don't
together.
think anyone should have a 10-year plan. Just
fair enough.
for anything.
Yeah, no, look, I think for our own businesses, we've got huge goals and lots of challenges ahead. But for this, it's something that's fun and kind of just grows organically. We don't do any marketing strategy or anything, and we, get 300 women a day joining. So I think for us, it's really fine-tuning what is working and making sure that we can streamline that to make it sustainable. Because the biggest thing for us is if Jane and I, touch wood, drop off to the face of the planet tomorrow and can't continue to support this group, whether it's with time or financially, it means it doesn't continue. So how do we set this up to have an impact so that it does have sustainable growth, so in 10 years' time we aren't wondering what the hell's going on. It's just running itself, and it was a nice thing we did a couple of years ago.
What are some of the things that you're doing to make sure everything gets set up right?
Yeah, of course. So we're going to charge memberships on the website. We're doing $20 a year, like something nominal, just so we can start getting that revenue in, and we can use that to start putting more staff on rather than using our own staff. We'll then also, it means that the website costs are continually covered. If there needs to be any upgrades or new features, the money's there. They don't have to go out and raise money or anything like that. We'll always look at things of how can we contribute back to the community with grants and scholarships and things like that to assist with, incentivizing or even pushing some of the startups to give them access to capital so that they can grow quicker, better, faster. What else? Buy lots of wine. Just things like that. I think making sure that not only here in Australia as well, but also that international presence so that we all get the benefit of that global community is going to be important.
That's fantastic. Well, I think we will wrap it up there. So thank you very much,
Cheers, girls.
ladies. Cheers.